Hello and welcome back to The Man from Hildebrand. This week is going to be a bit of a news roundup. For collectors, it's absolutely brilliant because we've had some sort of really cool kind of stuff come to light. First of all, I just want to give a bit of a mention to both Rob Smith and Peter Brooker of There Will Be a Bond, because I've kind of for the past month or so, I've kind of discovered their podcast, and it's kind of really helping me a lot through my current situation. Whilst waiting for my arm to hopefully fully work again, I've started doing a bit of model making, and whilst doing the model making, I'm listening to Pete and Rob on their podcast, and it's kind of absolutely fantastic because they just kind of bounce off each other. That they have some brilliant, hilarious stories to say. Plus, what they're doing is really unique because they're kind of analysing Bond films minute by minute. So they've already done Casino Royale 2006. Now they're working on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So they're basically going through, doing it, watching a minute and then discussing that minute. So it's a really kind of unique way of doing it. Plus they get numerous guests on the show as well. It's just overall a really cool sort of fantastic little podcast. I've been fortunate to meet Rob, I think, 4 times, and I met Peter only twice. But they are absolutely cracking guys. I personally kind of feel that, for me, it's probably one of the best podcasts I've listened to since James Bond Radio, because I think James Bond Radio was probably one of the first podcasts to ever sort of come about to discuss Bond, and it was like a kind of relatively new format where they had 2 guys talking Bond, and the kind of fan base that they sort of created and the legacy they've now left is absolutely phenomenal, because I believe, Peter and Rob have kind of sort of bounced off that. They were both JBR listeners themselves, and they thought, why not give it a go? If you've never seen There Will Be One, I would absolutely recommend it because it's absolutely brilliant, and it's helping me a lot through the past, especially this year. Last year it wasn't great, but it was what it was. But this past couple of months, I have been kind of struggling a little bit, and doing these videos kind of does help because it keeps me occupied. But also, doing the models and listening to both Pete and Rob is also kind of helping that. So, massive shout out to those guys. Anyway, now getting into the bulk of today's episode, on the 29th of January, Factory Entertainment had announced that they will be releasing the prop replica of the breathing device from Thunderball. So it was the device that Bond would put in his mouth, probably the length of a cigar, put in his mouth, and would help him go underwater. And they've also released, or they've announced, the a replica of a gold bar, which, as my wife rightly said, you might as well get a brick from the garden and spray it gold. I kind of get that. However, the breathing device I have got, because 14 or 15 years ago they'd released that originally, but they released it as a set, so it was alongside the Dine of the Day breathing apparatus as well. At the time, I would imagine that I would have been sort of first starting seeing my now wife, so early days there'd have been plenty of nudge nudge wink wink. So I would imagine that is when they would have released the prop replica of the breathing apparatus, and I would have totally have missed it. But anyway, then they're now bringing it back, which is fantastic because I've been wanting one for a while. I can remember about 4 or 5 years ago, I went on eBay to have a look, and you could buy a second-hand one second-hand set of both of them for about £700. I thought, nah, sod that. So anyway, Factory Entertainment reissuing it, I think is brilliant. No doubt it'll be interesting to see if the packaging does sort of commemorate Thunderbolt's 60th anniversary. And I would also imagine later on in the year, they would probably release the scaled replica of the jetpack as well, because the San Diego Comic-Con in 2024, they had the jetpack and the attaché case, which is a smaller scale size, and then last year they also had the Blofeld's Batho tub from Diamonds Are Forever, as well as a full prop replica of the proximity mine from GoldenEye. So I imagine that they may come later on this year. But yes, the Thunderbolt breathing device and the bar of gold, I believe, will be released in March, April this year. If you buy it from the 007 store, it's kind of crafty because it's like £148, but it's not until you check out you then realise you've got an additional £30 on top of that, because it's got to come all the way from America. So you're obviously paying for the tariffs and things all included in that. So yeah, that, and I think they're limited to 500 as well, so they are limited editions. But anyway, I have got one ordered, and I think, you know what, sod it, why not? I need something to look forward to. So yes, buy myself one of them. So that's really cool. Also, Ian Fleming Publications had released the final cover for the UK editions of Hurricane Room, which is the third and final novel by Kim Sherwood. The artwork for the UK editions I really like, which I'm really pleased with, because I wasn't so keen on the American one, but the thing is, so I've already got the first two books. I have not yet read them, as you probably may well be aware of, but I really do like the artwork. I really do like the design. So having Hurricane Room sitting next to that would look really cool. I'm hoping that one day I will actually, whether or not you need to be in the right frame of mind or be in the wrong frame of mind to read them, I don't know. But I'm hoping one day that I will actually sit down and read them. I mean, it's every day I'm still hearing negative comments about them. So it's not really kind of encouraging me to go and read them. Especially when I discovered that one person had bought it from Waterstones, read it, and then after he read it, sent it back to Waterstones and asked for a refund because he just did not enjoy the book, which I kind of think, well, at the end of the day, you know, as a paying customer, you are entitled to that. You know, if you bought a product and you're not happy with it, then yes, you can return it. So yeah, it's just, you don't really hear many people returning books back to Waterstones because they've read it and they don't enjoy it. So yeah, that alone says quite a fair bit. So yes, anyway, Hurricane Room, I'm not too sure. That's out this year. I can't remember what month it was released, but yeah, I usually get the Waterstones editions because they tend to just be sort of a little bit, I believe, probably limited. I don't know, or probably they always do or include a bonus chapter or bonus material or something. But the Waterstone editions are pretty good. So yes, I will get Hurricane Room just for the artwork. Also, Macallan's Whiskey is back. Now, they have just announced a whiskey to commemorate the 55th anniversary of Diamonds Are Forever. Now, Macallan's Whiskey, they first appeared in Skyfall, and then in 2022, they collaborated with Dan, Jack and Eon to celebrate the 60th anniversary of James Bond since the cinematic release of Dr. No. And they basically released 6 bottles in all different kind of packaging to celebrate each decade of Bond, you know, each of the 6 decades. And I can remember in 2023 going to a bit of a sort of exhibit in Harrods, which Macallan's had kind of set up, and you basically had a couple of sort of props from the films, and you even had like a full-blown Little Nelly there. Now, whether or not that was a Little Nelly actually used in the film, or if it was a replica, I don't know, but it was the actual Little Nelly, just all there. And then you had sort of a lot of production drawings and stills, by Ken Adam, Peter Lamont, Sid Kane. And it's just, I think the focus on Macallan's was just looking at the design of Bond throughout the 60 years. I never bought any because I'm not really, well, my first experience with Macallan's was back in 2016. And it was when James Bond Radio did, I believe, could have been one of their very first sort of gatherings where we kind of met up, and we all went to London. First time we met all, Tom and Chris, and met the fellow listeners, and it was a fantastic day out because we just got talking Bond. And we went to several locations around London. We went to the National Gallery where the film Skyfall. We went to the Lazenby lamppost, which is on the Thames embankment in front of the House of Parliament, and not far from there was the door on the bridge which was used in Die Another Day, and that's the door where Pierce or Bond went down to the abandoned station to then go and see Q. And then we went to Rules, which of course paid Inspector. We went there for lunch, and then we had a boat trip down the Thames, and then we went to the Vans trainer store, which doubled for the underground training sort of building in Skyfall. When Bond's kind of on the shooting range, that was all filmed in Vans. So yeah, with it being December, one of the guys had organised, don't know how they did, but he managed to get like a load of so-called sample bottles, I suppose, of Macallan's. And so, I mean, for somebody who's not a whiskey drinker, that whiskey on that cold day went down a treat. And yeah, that was probably my only kind of time I actually experienced Macallan's. But yeah, I mean, if you're a whiskey connoisseur, if you're a whiskey collector and a Bond fan, then yeah, Diamonds Are Forever 55th anniversary is coming out. Not too sure what the price is. Surprised I never did anything for 60 years of Thunderball or Goldfinger, or 30 years of GoldenEye, to be honest. But yeah, they are back. Also in April, Amazon are attending, Amazon MGM are attending the CinemaCon in Las Vegas. Now, CinemaCon is basically where all these kind of big studios executives go up and discuss their upcoming film projects. So, of course, with Amazon MGM, I would imagine there will be some talk around Bond 26. Now, they attended last year, and that was when they announced, when David Heyman and Amy Pascal attended, and that's when they kind of confirmed that they were currently in London, sort of working on Bond 26. What this year will bring for them, I don't know. Whether or not Denis Villeneuve will make an appearance, whether or not they'll have their own panel, I don't know. But I'm sure we might get a few more tidbits. I doubt it. We may get a title. I don't know. I doubt it. But yeah, Denis Villeneuve might make an appearance. Stephen Knight might make an appearance. I should think we would generally probably get a little bit more information than we knew last year, because a bit more has developed from then. Whether or not it's any information we already know or don't know, we don't know. We just sort of wait and see. But for April time, I believe, after CinemaCon, we may get a bit more news pouring in. And also, I just happened to look on the 007 store the other day, and I noticed that Scalextric have released two new slot cars. They've released the Few Eyes Only Lotus Esprit Turbo, the white one, which somebody spotted that the interior was sort of like a tobacco colour with the gold wheels. Now the interior and the gold wheels obviously belong to the red Lotus Esprit Turbo. So I'm thinking basically all they've done is they've just kept the wheels and kept the interior, but just swapped the chassis over. So yeah, the For Your Eyes Only 45th anniversary slot car is there, and also there's the I believe, is it the yellow Chevrolet Taxi from Live and Let Die? That is now available to buy as a slot car as well. Now, I must admit that recently Scare Electrics have kind of sort of gone to town, really, because I mean, that's probably worth an episode on its own, just with the Scare Electrics have done, because it was only a couple of years ago they released the AMC Hornet from The Man with the Golden Gun, and the DB5 from Goldfinger. They've done the Lotus. I don't think they've done any Brosnan vehicles yet. They've done the Ford Mustang from Goldfinger. So yeah, they've done quite a few, actually. I mean, once I got the room, once I got the money, I might just even buy myself a Scare Electrics and just put a load of Bond ones on. But yes, no, so yeah, Scare Electrics have released a couple of sort of new items, and they are available on the 007 store. So yeah, this is a very short and sweet kind of episode. I just thought, yeah, I mean, there's in terms of the world of Bond, there's no film news. There's and I think the film news is kind of what we're all waiting for, and hopefully once that gets kicked in, I'll be able to kind of express my thoughts and opinions on that. But yes, so I think that's it for today, guys. So yeah, don't forget, if you haven't already, please give There Will Be a Bond a listen to, presented by Rob Smith and Peter Brooker. So I think that's it then for this week. So basically, if you're into your prop replicas, please check out Factory Entertainment and, you know, place your order either on the Rebreather or the Bar of Gold, or even both. Hurricane Room, the artwork for that's been revealed, so I will probably put a pre-order in for that as well. If you're a whiskey connoisseur, why not look into the Macallans, because they've just released a 55th anniversary edition of Diamonds Are Forever. And yeah, if you're into your Scare Electrics, check out the the latest Bond sort of vehicles, really, off from For Your Eyes Only and Live and Let Die. I believe that Macallan's is probably the first kind of product we've had that's sort of celebrating 55 years of Diamonds Are Forever. And with the Scare Electrics, that could well be celebrating the first product to celebrate the 45 years of For Your Eyes Only. I mean, I don't think anything else substantial is kind of been announced yet. I mean, there's no, apart from the Casino Royale in concert, there's no any limited edition commemorative products to tie in with Casino Royale as of yet. I'm sure I'm sure there will be to come. I'm sure there will be there in the future. But yeah, I think for this week, I think that's it. So that is a very short and sweet episode. So I will see you next time. What there will be to talk about, I don't know, but I will be with you guys soon again. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Cheerio.